Welcome to my channel. Make sure you hit the like button. Share and subscribe, y'all. So, Diddy is all over the internet with his antics. He refuses to realize that time's up for him. You know what I'm saying? Every dog has their day. And I'm not going to sit here and down somebody while they're in a bad situation. But people like to do things to people. And then when it's time for them to pay up or karma comes for them, they want everybody to feel sorry for them. But you didn't feel sorry when you did the alleged things that you was doing, Diddy. Now, for many, many years, people have been very skeptical about the stuff that Diddy may have been involved in. People were skeptical about him taking Diddy over. I'm taking Big over there to LA, knowing that the climate was really hostile. There's 1,000 studios in New York or more. You had enough money to have, he had enough money rather, to have his own damn studio. So why did you take Biggie to California and make him go to a party when Gene Deal said clearly, and he was there, he said clearly that he told everyone that Unique had called him, who's also on YouTube now, he's home, called him and told him that it wasn't safe to go nowhere and to vest up. Told him to vest up. He was in jail at the time and he knew that. My son was 11 years old. He was 11 years old and he jumped up out the chair when he seen Biggie at one of them award shows that I don't know how he knew it was in Cali, but he knew. And he jumped out of the chair and said, "Ma, why is he over there? They're gonna kill him." Now this was 6 months after Pac died, so the climate was still there, from Pac being killed. It was still heavy on everyone. Some people wanted revenge. Some people were angry that Big was still alive and Pac wasn't here. There was a lot going on at the time. But for this dude to take Big out there, and now all these years have gone by, and he just turned into someone that we didn't even recognize no more. Look at him sitting in this chair looking like the devil, yo. It's right in our face. What will make him want to dress like this? Remember when he used to always be talking about God and Jesus all the time? When did he turn into this person? Not to mention the suspicious past, and I was always suspicious about Heavy D. People don't just drop dead like that. He was getting in shape. He was losing weight. What happened to Heavy D, y'all? What happened to Chris Lighty? What happened to Kim Porter? And now that we see that he was being so hostile and violent towards Cassie, is it really far-fetched to think that he was capable of possibly taking people out? He seemed to be very evil and cold, and he seemed to be a predator. We all watched him when Fabulous was on Drink Champs, how he was basically ready to jump Fabulous bones in front of everybody. He didn't even have no shame. Now it's coming out that he had punched Cassie in her face prior to her getting up and leaving while he fell asleep. He punched her in the face and then went to sleep. He rented a whole floor in a hotel. I guess he was, he rented it. He had plans. He had his plans, and maybe she didn't want to go along with it. I'm just assuming now, but it makes perfect sense. So she got tired and she said, "All right, I'm leaving." And this guy follows her, busts her upside her head like he's her father. Like I wonder if he ever was in her mother's face or her family's face, talking to them and stuff like that. I wonder how he was with her family members. Money is not everything, y'all. Cause she could have really took herself and left him a long time before that. She didn't have to stay there. But then again, maybe she felt like she didn't have no choice. Maybe she felt like his money and his power, she wouldn't be able to get away from him. It was a really, really, really scary ass time we living in. Like I would never have thought that he would have went this far. But that's what greed will get you, y'all. Hmm. Stories are coming out more about Kim Porter and what she was going through. I know one time he attacked her. He rented a yacht. He likes to get these women in secluded places too, like where they can't escape from him. And she was on a yacht with him one time. She was trying to date somebody else who wound up dead, by the way. His name is Shakur Stewart. He was the vice president of Def Jam at the time. And they were saying that Kim Porter was telling him about things, talking to him and confiding in him. She trusted him to talk to him and tell him what was going on with the whole Diddy situation. And somehow he got into her phone and he was reading her texts. And he found out that she was talking to Shakur Stewart. Now, rumors was going around prior to him allegedly killing himself, okay? That he wasn't acting himself toward in the later days, in the time around when he passed away. And they were saying that he was getting strange phone calls, he was acting strange. And I believe, people were hinting around the fact that there was, excuse me, guys, there was a party one time that he was at, and he was drugged and put in a compromising position to make it look like he was laying up with another male, and that he was being blackmailed because Diddy was terrorizing him. See, because he thought like, I'm going into his mind now. He feels like if he was dealing with you, you was his. Even if he wasn't treating you right and beating you up or whatever he was doing. But you can't talk to nobody else. You see what he did to Kid Cudi, done blew up the man's car because he was talking to Cassie. So why wouldn't he have gone so far about Kim Porter as well? Because he thought he owned her. I don't think that he's capable of true love. I think that he's a narcissist to the 100th power. And he was also on a down low. So it's like, us women, we always have to take on the brunt of everybody else's insecurities. We don't have to. But sometimes, women feel like they're trapped. And I believe he had Kim and Cassie thinking they were trapped. They said that Kim went to LA to move. She moved to LA. This is what Jaguar was saying. that she had moved to LA because she was trying to get away from him, and he followed her over there and was harassing her. And she had planned to write a tell-all book, and he found out about it. And when she passed away, rest in peace to Kim Porter, which I always found that strange as well, because how is it that she had access to all these resources when she probably could have a doctor come to her home, and she wound up dead from pneumonia? People don't die from pneumonia in these days and times, y'all. A doctor could have just prescribed her over the phone some antibiotics. It was always strange to me. And then they said that the kind of coffin that she had to be ordered 3 weeks in advance. And she was buried like a week later. So it's like he already knew what was going to happen. So somewhere along the line, this man got deadly out up there in this industry. Like, he got power drunk. He got possessed. Did you take him out? Did you take out the mother so that you could have the son do your bidding? Because your son is obsessed with you. It's kind of weird to me, his relationship with Christian. So did you take him out so that you can have full access to your son's mind? While Misa is still taking up for him and speaking, like she's with him, I don't know. Because from what the rumor mill is saying, he used to beat on her too. That allegedly she got beaten so bad she was trying to get underneath the car to get away from him. And this is coming from people. Well, Gene said that. This is coming from, and I heard that before. This is coming from people that were around them. This has been going on for years, y'all. Maybe people around him didn't like what he was doing, so he, or felt like they couldn't support him no more. The only one that I think didn't have a problem with him, and this is just my opinion, I'm speaking here. Everything I'm saying is alleged and for entertainment purposes, research and teaching purposes only. But the only one that didn't really seem to have a problem with you is Jay-Z. And the same thing I'm hearing about him, about you, I'm hearing about him now too. What's in the dark always comes to light. And it is also being alleged that him and some others may have been involved in planning the deaths of a lot of these young rappers that's been leaving us lately. Because my guess is they didn't want nobody else to take their spot and be able to influence people, because that's the only time that they're valuable, when they're able to influence the masses. When you really sit back and see all this stuff that's going on, and he looks like, in his face now, when I look at him, his pictures and stuff, he looked just like a devil. He looked like the devil to me. Look at his face. Look at his features. He looked like a damn devil. And also, rumors been going around that he even put hands on his mother one time, slapped her. But now he gets on video and tries to do damage control. Because I told y'all, they ain't shit without us supporting them. So now he's losing most of his support that he had, except for a few scragglers here and there saying that everybody wants to see a black man down. It's not about a black man, because this black man that y'all trying to defend, he ain't give two shits about you or none of us. It was all about him and making sure his masters was pleased so he can continue to live the lifestyle he was living, which he didn't really seem to be too happy with. I think deep down inside of him, his conscience was eating his ass up. He started doing drugs. If you look at him, he be looking spaced the fuck out in these past couple years. He looks spaced out, y'all. Maybe it was the Tucci or the Booty or the Boosie. I don't know. But there's been terrible stories circulating about this man for the past 25 years plus. Every single one of his artists complained about him. Even when Black Rob was ill, he wouldn't even lift a finger to help him. He wouldn't lift a finger to help the man that did his logo for him, ASAP Ferg. He wouldn't lift a finger to help him when he needed help. He wound up passing away. Black Rob wound up passing away. Craig Mack wound up passing away. He was in some type of religious place when he passed away. Shine. He took the fall for you for 10 years of his life was gone. He'll never get that back. Loon, Loon did time too and came home. Now he's in some type of religious, well, he's a Muslim. Mace ran away and became a preacher. So what kind of demonic shit was he doing, y'all? I think sometimes people came back to, do the bad boy reunions or whatever. Just so they could make some money, because they sure as hell wasn't making no money with you. Every doggone artist this man ever went, all of them complained about him. And I'm sure more will come out sooner or later. People want Mary need to come out and tell her story. We need to know what Mary got to say. She needs to tell her story. She knows a lot of secrets. And I think people were still trying to hang in there with him and idolize, keep him on a pedestal because he was the money man. But I'm telling y'all, when I saw him doing that clown dance with his two sons, it was weird to me. I had a really weird feeling. Something about this, even though it looks something like something that's so innocent. It looked weird to me, y'all. Let me go get that one. Let me go get that. Let me see if I can get it. It looked weird, and then the next thing you know, Kim Porter was gone. Then before Takeoff got killed, I think I said this a couple times before. I saw him and Offset. Him and Offset was both dressed like the Joker. So was he recruiting you into this ruthless state of mind, Offset, so that you could stay on top? You and your wife? Because it's like a whole group of them. They all know what's going on. And most of them are participating. And they don't give a shit about the normal people. Or anybody for that matter. Because they feel like they rich. And they don't give a shit about nobody. All they care about is maintaining their positions. But every dog has his day. Now you get up here and you try to make this apology video when just a couple weeks ago or months ago you were saying it was all a lie and people want to get at you because of your money. I'm sorry I'm yawning like this, y'all. I didn't even know I was this tired. I am beat. Okay. But I had to say something about Diddy and his shenanigans. And when I just was thinking about this picture with him all dressed up like this in red with the red background and the red couch, he was feeling himself. You can see the wickedness in him in this fucking picture, yo. It was a time where people used to think that you was involved in demonic activity or anything to do with saying they will run away from you. But nowadays people don't give two shits because they just a satanic thinking in the mind with that negative force of inside of them. They possess too. And then you got people saying, "Oh, you just want to see a black man down." This ain't got shit to do with no black man being down. This is a motherfucker that made it and turned on his own goddamn people and thought that he had the world in his fucking hands. And instead of doing something positive and being happy that he made it out of here, he decided to be a monster. You know how many people this man done hurt along the way? I bet you Miss Wallace is looking for you right now, Diddy. Her only son. I always felt he was involved in it, y'all. That's my opinion. I always felt like he was involved in taking Biggie out. Because just look at it like this. If Biggie would have left him and went to do his own label like they're saying he was getting ready to, that he had gotten a $62 million contract that Gene Deal saw with Capitol Records, nobody would have been paying attention to no damn Diddy. He might have had a lot of music coming out and maybe some good artists, but everybody loved Biggie. Biggie was the attraction, not you. You just inserted yourself in there. And you know what? Suge was right when he said what he said about you. You always was in the videos dancing and shit. Want to get the spotlight. I'm going to tell y'all this. Y'all better watch these people and learn from them. Because you can't keep doing negativity and bad deeds and think you're going to get away with it. And then when it's time for you to pay the piper, you want people to feel sorry for you, and you want pity, and you want forgiveness. Get the fuck out of here. When you was doing all the stuff that you was doing, you wasn't thinking about nobody and no fucking forgiveness. You took them little girl's mother away from her. You took your son's mother away from him. And you know what? Y'all so damn weird. I wouldn't be surprised if you talk to your son about it. I wouldn't be surprised. Let me tell you something. People can continue with their demonic activity all they want. But at the end of the day, the real boss, the real leader of this world is going to be victorious. Not y'all little evil minions, demonic minions running around up there. Like black people don't have it hard enough. And if it wasn't for us, y'all wouldn't even be shit. But this is what we get back from y'all: selfishness. But he's not useful to them anymore, so they're going to bring him all the way down. But you know what I observed? All the stuff that went on with Epstein, all the stuff that went on with Weinstein, we didn't get no details about none of that shit. We were speculating. There was no paperwork or CNN reports about exactly what they were doing on that island or whatever the hell else they was doing. But they gonna tell everything this one was doing. Because they want us to have this type of image. And they want to keep perpetuating this image on our children. So they're gonna have it all over, plastered all over the goddamn social media and the news. They're gonna have it everywhere. Because when you see CNN talking about it and you see TMZ talking about it, you know they fucked up. It's about they going down. Now a lot of the stuff that's being said was already been being said years ago. But since the main media have picked it up and they showing videos of him beating on people and shit, like I wonder if they found that video in his house. But that's neither here nor there. Everybody knew what he was doing in that industry. They all know what each other is doing. I'm sure he done grabbed her up in front of everybody before. And other women he was with. I heard he beat up Mary J. Blige. At first I thought it was the fight that she had with Pepper, because she had a fight with Pepper before over Tretch from Naughty by Nature. And they were saying that she had beat Mary J. Blige up, and that's why she had that little scar on her face. But now it's coming out that they're saying that it was Diddy that gave her that scar on her damn face. That she was dealing with Diddy at one point, and that she was even um having a baby by him at one time. And he made her get an abortion. But that's speculation too, because I haven't heard many people talk about that or anybody really credible talking about it. But that's in the rumor mills. It might come out later on. But she needs to come out and tell her story so she can save the rest of these young girls. But she have her stories too. There's stories about her too. But anyway, y'all, what y'all are witnesses is everybody has to pay the piper sooner or later. And you had a long run. He had a long, long run. And somebody else had a long run too. And a lot of us are sitting back waiting to see when his day is going to come. Because he was doing some wicked shit too. Rest in peace to Shakur Stewart, Heavy D, Tupac, Biggie, Kim Porter, Andre Harrell, and whoever else may have been a victim of this industry and these sellouts. Because they're a bunch of goddamn sellouts. And their day is here. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.